In this video, I'll show you how to connect DeepSeek Harness directly to Home Assistant using HA-MCP and custom skills, turning an autonomous AI agent into your personal smart home engineer that writes your automations, builds your dashboards, and queries your device history automatically. Before we dive in, what exactly is DeepSeek Harness? DeepSeek Harness is an open-source agent harness developed by DeepSeek AI designed to keep agents working in real-world environments. The model is the soul of an agent, but a harness lets an agent understand its environment, use tools, and keep working in real-world settings. At its core, it's powered by the Cordis kernel, which manages all plugin dependencies so that every capability, from models to tools and skills to sandboxes and the UI, lives as a modular plugin. This allows you to easily select, swap, or extend any feature directly through configuration without changing a single line of source code. Let's set it up and see if we can turn it into our Home Assistant manager. First things first, environment setup. Since many users reported bugs when running this on Windows, we're using a Linux system today for better stability. DeepSeek Harness requires Node.js, so we'll run the command apt-get install Node.js. After that, verify the installation with node-v and npm-v. Once both return valid versions, the core runtime is locked in. Now, here is where I hit my very first snag. Naturally, I wanted to install and access the DeepSeek Harness web UI from any computer on my local network rather than being chained to localhost, so I input this command. However, the terminal immediately threw an error stating that binding to 0.0.0.0 is intentionally not supported yet for safety. So for now, we have to stick with the official default command and access it locally. Once you're inside the web UI, let's walk through the core settings. Starting in General Settings, notice that changing an agent preset only applies to new sessions. Active ones keep whichever preset they started with. For permissions, you can choose between read-only, workspace write, or full access. Since we want our agent to create files and manage tools, we'll set this to full access. Below that, under Enter Behavior, you can choose whether your messages queue up when the agent is busy or steer it mid-thought to redirect its focus. Over in the Models tab, it defaults to DeepSeek out of the box, but if you click Add Provider, you'll find support for dozens of mainstream LLMs. Even if your provider isn't listed, clicking Add a Custom Provider gives you native support for standard OpenAI and Anthropic API protocols. For our setup today, I selected the native DeepSeek model and entered my API key. Moving to plugins, remember that DeepSeek Harness is built on the Cordis framework, meaning literally everything is a plugin, from the shell and agent loop to web search and sandboxes. In fact, it comes pre-loaded with over 100 auto-started plugins ready to go. Finally, under Presets, you'll find 4 operating modes depending on your workflow. First is Standard Mode, a full coding agent equipped with file editing, search, skills, sub-agents, and workflows. Next is Code Mode, where tools are exposed through an SDK so the model can execute multi-step operations in TypeScript. Then there's Minimal Mode, a lightweight setup with just a persistent bash shell and string editor. And lastly is Creator Mode, helping you inspect runtime behavior and author your own custom presets. For our build today, we're sticking with Standard Mode. Now, let's assign a workspace. I pointed it to a custom folder I created called DeepSeek Harness. It automatically locked into full access permissions. For the model, I selected the latest DeepSeek V4 Pro and set the thinking intensity to high. You also have off and max. Standard mode supports skills, so let's test if it can build a custom skill capable of controlling all devices in Home Assistant. I gave it this prompt: build a skill for controlling all my Home Assistant devices, specify the installation path and usage instructions, and connect using my local server URL, access token, and system directory. It took about 4 minutes to work through its loop. It created a skill called Home Assistant Control Skill, provided the installation path, usage instructions, and even gave me a security warning. Now, let's look at the stats under the input box. The cache hit rate was a massive 95%, which saves huge costs. But here's the shocker. For this relatively simple task, the input tokens reached nearly 800K, and output tokens hit almost 20K. That's nearly 1 million tokens for a single task. That definitely caught me off guard. To test it, I typed, "Turn off the smart plug." Looking at the output execution logs, DeepSeek V4 Pro successfully invoked the Home Assistant control skill, identified the smart plug, called the API, and turned off the device seamlessly. Neither the official docs nor the default plugin list explicitly detailed MCP setup, so I wanted to see if we could register an MCP server natively. I'm using the Home Assistant MCP tool I configured in a previous video. If you need the installation guide, definitely check out that episode. I fed the agent a prompt asking to register a Home Assistant MCP tool, providing the HA-MCP webhook connection URL and including a sample open code config as a reference. The agent scanned the URL, confirmed HA-MCP was live, and even detected its exact version. In about 6 minutes, it registered HA-MCP as a native tool source, discovering 78 total tools in the process. It also noted that the configuration hot reloads automatically without needing a system rebuild. When I checked the plugin list and searched for MCP, sure enough, MCP Home Assistant was active and ready. Now that MCP was registered, let's see if it can build an automation for us. I gave it this prompt. Use the tool to create an automation that turns off the smart plug every day at 11 p.m. It executed quickly and confidently informed me no restart is needed. I jumped into Home Assistant, checked the automations, and without touching a single YAML file or restarting Home Assistant, the new automation was right there, perfectly configured with 0 errors. Next, a harder task, create a dashboard. I instructed the agent to use the tool to build a dashboard named Test, pin it directly to the sidebar, and place the smart plug on it. This took a bit longer. When it finished, it output the dashboard ID and URL path. I checked Home Assistant sidebar. A new dashboard named Test appeared instantly, containing the smart plug card, fully operational with working toggle buttons. Finally, a data lookup task, query device history. I asked the agent to use the tool to fetch all history records of the smart plug turning on and off. It queried the Home Assistant database via MCP and generated a formatted chronological list of state changes along with a concise summary. The standout feature in the UI is the Trajectory tab. Trajectory gives you full, transparent observability into the agent's inner workings. Instead of guessing what the model is doing in a black box, you get a visual timeline showing every single turn, tool call, and the complete flow between user prompts and assistant prompts. Looking back at the data under the input box, the entire session took 6 conversation turns and executed 71 individual steps. The cache hit rate stayed high at 96%, but total token usage reached 7.1 million input tokens and 56,000 output tokens. Since I ran this during DeepSeek's recent price hike and peak hours, it made me wonder, can we still afford running agents like this? To find out, I checked my DeepSeek billing dashboard, and these 6 relatively simple tasks cost nearly $1. Compared to what we used to pay, that's a massive jump, and it feels like this might trigger a broader wave of AI price increases across the industry. By the way, I wrote a document summarizing this video, link in the description. Let me know in the comments which capability is most useful for your smart home setup. As always, your likes and subscribes keep me going. Thanks for watching.